gentlemen, and thank you for watching the show. This is your Top Think Tanks review. I'm your host, Bryce Dolan. Now, in earlier segments, we've talked a lot about the Syrian conflict, and most recently and more particular about Aleppo. Well, in the last few days, the Security Council has issued a resolution allowing UN monitors into the besieged city of Aleppo, and also allow safe evacuations of trapped civilians. And although this is great news, this still does not excuse the inaction by the United States. Now, author Leon Wieselcher of the Brookings Institution writes that he was reminded of a sentence that appeared in an encomium to Elie Wiesel shortly after his death. The sentence declared, "We must never be bystanders to injustice or indifferent to suffering." That was Wiesel's teaching exactly. The problem with the sentence is that it was issued by the White House and attributed to President Obama. And so the sentence was not at all sterling. It was outrageously hypocritical. How dare Obama and members of his administration speak this way? After 5 years and more in which the United States' inaction in Syria has transformed our country into nothing other than a bystander to the greatest atrocity of our time, they have forfeited the right to this language. Their angry and anguished utterances are merely the manipulation of the rhetoric of conscience on behalf of a policy without a trace of conscience. You cannot be cold-hearted and high-minded at the same time. Historians will record, they will not have to dig deeply or interpret wildly to conclude that all through the excruciations of Aleppo, and more generally Syria, the United States watched. As we watched, we made excuses, and occasionally we ornamented our excuses with eloquence. The president is enamored of his eloquence, but eloquence is precisely what the wrenching circumstances do not require of him. In circumstances of moral and strategic emergency, his responsibility is not to move us, it is to pick up the phone. Eli did more than just bear witness, Obama said in his eulogy. He acted. And then Obama added, "Just imagine the peace and justice that would be possible in our world if more people lived a little more like Elie Wiesel." Just imagine. Now, if Obama wants credit for not getting us into another war, the credit is his. If he wants credit for not being guilty of overreach, the credit is his. If he wants credit for conceiving of every obstacle and impediment to American action in every corner of the globe, the credit is his. But it is a shameful and incontrovertible fact of our history that during the past 8 years, the values of rescue, assistance, protection, humanitarianism, and democracy have been demoted in our foreign policy and in many instances banished altogether. The ruins of the finest traditions of American internationalism, of American leadership in a darkening world, may be found in the ruins of Aleppo. Our ostentatious passivity is a primary cause of that darkening. When they go low, we go home. The Obama legacy in foreign policy is vacuum creation, which his addled America First successor will happily ratify. Aleppo was not destroyed by the Syrian army. It was destroyed by a savage coalition led and protected by Russia. While they massacred innocent men, women, and children, we anxiously pondered scenarios of deconfliction. So I could not agree more with Mr. Leon Wieselcher of the Brookings Institution, ladies and gentlemen. I am sickened by the inaction of the United States in this Syrian conflict, and even more sickened by the involvement of the Russians, and again, the inaction of the United States. I only pray and hope, ladies and gentlemen, that the day does not come that the United States is attacked and needs help. And when we cry out for help, ladies and gentlemen, you can almost bet that our cries will be met with silence. God willing, that day will never come. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to check out this article yourself, you can find the link to it below in the description. I really encourage you to do so. This is a very powerful piece by Mr. Wieselcher. Now, after you check out that article, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you can get notified every time a new video is posted. Give our Facebook pages a like and follow us on Twitter. But that does it for the Top Think Tanks review, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for watching the show. I was your host, Bryce Dolan.